Here to discuss the hearing is CBS News legal analyst Rikki Klieman. Rikki, thanks so much for joining us. Okay, first off, I guess this is to determine whether or not any of these guys will go to trial.
Correct.
Do you think any of them will?
Yes,
okay.
I do. I think this is a difficult decision for the judge to make. This is a judge who is taking the evidence as to all of the defendants. There are 18 of them in total. 2 of them have waived their right to a preliminary hearing, but even saying that, you've got to look at the actions of 18. When you look at the highest charges, that is the involuntary manslaughter as well as the reckless assault, aggravated assault. When you look at those 2 charges, those are the ones that these defendants are most frightened of. But it doesn't mean that you just cast aside the reckless endangerment or the hazing. So the judge has to look at all of the video that has been introduced in evidence. He also has to decipher person by person, defendant by defendant.
Right.
What did this person do? When did they do it? And therefore, what might they be charged with? Remember, we're only looking at a probable cause standard here. We're not looking at proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
I think it's very interesting. There's a lot of surveillance video, and a lot of people contributed to the outcome here. Somebody may have handed him a drink early on in the night and not seen what happened later on. Could that person, and I don't know what everyone's charged with because there are a lot of defendants, but would somebody like that be on the hook ultimately for manslaughter?
Well, what you have here is a theory by the prosecution that if you were part of the contribution in getting him so intoxicated to a point where he did fall down the stairs, where he was carried upstairs, then books were put upon his back so he wouldn't fall over and choke on his own vomit. Well, all of the actions in succession. Could someone who handed him the first drink ultimately be charged with involuntary manslaughter? The answer to that is perhaps. But would a jury find that person guilty?
Right.
That's another matter. So you have 2 levels here of review, if you will, before any ultimate punishment might befall any of these defendants.
Right. In regards to the surveillance video, there is a lot. We heard some of it, of what it's like and how disturbing it was to watch that surveillance video. But defense attorneys are going to use that surveillance video as well to defend their clients. We heard from one attorney there who characterized the gut punch as more of a tap.
Well, the defense attorneys are stuck. Look,
right.
You know, we say that there are some things that are facts beyond change. One of the things that's a fact beyond change is what you see in a surveillance video. It's a fact. However, the interpretation of that fact can be different.
Right.
So this defense attorney that we've just watched, he may say, well, that wasn't a gut punch, that was a tap. Well, the judge has a right to go back and look not only at that second in the surveillance video, but also how did the person react? Are they falling over from it? Do they take a breath? What happens to their body? And one of the things that happened with these defendants, and I'm grouping them now, it's not all of them, but what happened with some of these defendants was their efforts to keep him awake really were efforts that helped to cause his death.
Oh, wow.
Then what you wind up at the end is once they realize that he's really unconscious the following day, and by the way, some people have stepped over his body during the course of the night, when they finally get it, that this guy is not responding the following morning, they wait 40 minutes to call 911 as they're doing internet searches about their own liability. That cannot go past this judge without a second thought. This is profound. And finally, their consciousness of guilt evidence, the text messages amongst these boys
we're seeing
is
some of them
really,
now.
really terrible.
Yeah, well, Rikki Klieman, I know a lot of people are following this case very closely to see how it all unfolds. Certainly a wake-up call for a lot of these fraternities, and there's a whole other discussion we could have about drinking on college campuses and the legal fallout as a result. Sure we will. Rikki Klieman, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Emery.